Hello and welcome back to this special holiday session of the Level Cap podcast, where Cameron and I will talk about all things Level 99 games, Christmas, holidays, or otherwise. And the silence falls before the room, as Cameron decides to not reply to anything that I have just said.
Is this Edgelord Marco? Because he's cool.
No.
He needs to come back.
Yes, with Brad gone, the holidays are mine. No.
Yeah, with Brad gone.
This is smooth voice ASMR battle guides, Marco. No, just kidding.
Oh.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Level Cap podcast. As Brad said in the previous episode, he'll be gone. Actually, he is currently gone. So we have to make do with just me as a main host, but luckily I have a special guest co-host. His name is Cameron. I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
It's actually Nojemski. So
Nojemski?
It's a Czech. Yeah, it's Czech.
That's pretty cool.
It comes from a city. Yeah, it's a city in Czech.
What does it mean?
It's an actual city in Czech. We grew up there, and then my family moved over from Czech not too long ago, and then we kept the name.
Oh, I see.
So we had to change it a bit. Yeah, we had to change it a bit because it's too short.
Too short?
Yeah, so it was originally spelt like Znojmi.
And then you guys made it longer.
Yeah, because no one would be able to understand or say what the name was. I don't even know how to pronounce that name.
You didn't know how to pronounce your own last name?
Well, I know how to pronounce my English last name, but not this one.
What's your English last name?
Nojemski.
It's okay, so it's said the same way.
No, the other one's like Nojemski. Wow.
What was that? Was that the Grinch?
That was thunder in the background.
Oh,
no,
I thought
that was thunder in the background.
I see. Okay. No, that was the Grinch. That was the Grinch coming there trying to steal your presents. Or Santa Claus went up to your roof, slipped off, and died. Now you have to be Santa because of the Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. Like the movie.
Yeah, like the movie. Gee, thanks for pointing that out, Cameron. That wasn't a very obvious reference.
How was your Christmas, Marco?
Oh, it was great. That's a complete lie, by the way. I have the flu.
That's
Thumbs up. Thumbs up, everyone. No, listeners, just know for a simple fact that I bring you this podcast despite being horribly, horribly sick. So if I sound a little bit weird, it's because I'm sick. But don't worry, I love you so much. I will continue to make this podcast, even without Brad, even without health, even without Santa Claus.
Well, your dedication is admirable.
Admiral?
So
you mean admirable?
Yeah. No, is it? Oh, teach
Yes.
read, Marco.
Oh my gosh. Okay, teach read, Cameron. My goodness. Haven't you been living in Australia long enough?
Yes, I have, but I still find English quite complicated.
Wait, do you know Czech, then?
Nope.
So you only know English.
Yeah, and I just still can't speak it.
Okay, I see. So you cannot speak your only language properly.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, at least you can speak, I guess, Game Maker Studio code, right?
Yeah, that's my language now, I guess.
That's your primary language? Like, how do you say hi in Game Maker
100%.
Studio?
Show message hi. In brackets.
I see. Is Game Maker Studio, like, primarily UI-based?
No. It's
Okay.
not at all. Like, Game Maker is more, you build whatever you want. Like, me and Brad were talking the other day about BB code and how text is rendered. And Brad was like, just get it off the internet or something. Someone's bound to have done it. And I'm like, Brad, no one's ever attempted it. And then Brad's like, I'll Google search it. And he Google searches it and comes back and he's like, no one's even attempted it.
What? Why are we coding everything in Game Maker Studio then? Oh no.
And so I had to code a whole BB code thing for the announcement page and the text renderer for the cards in BCO. Oh, that was great fun.
Was that sarcastic or genuine?
No, it was very sarcastic. It was like 3 days of writing each individual character and then going back to check if it was this sort of style and then going to format it and spacing all the characters together.
That sounds like complete garbage. This is why I didn't become a programmer.
But didn't you do computer science?
Yes, I did. Again, this is why I didn't become a programmer.
You knew what you were getting into and then you're like, nope.
Nope. Back out. That's like, ooh. I mean, that's why my day job's marketing, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, anyway. Hey, it's true. Hey, Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Do you know what we have lined up for all of our wonderful listeners tonight?
Actually, I don't.
I literally just told you this 5 minutes before the show, but...
Well, you told me.
Yeah, I told you. How could you not remember 5 minutes? Okay, anyway. We have a wonderful docket for all of you tonight.
Marco.
Oh my gosh. We have a wonderful docket for all of you tonight. Cameron and I will talk about some things we've been doing, some things we've been playing. We'll talk about a little bit more about that BCO, PTO stuff. And we'll also answer some heated questions about BattleCon Online and maybe some Pixel Tactics Online questions if there are any. So Cameron, tell me, have you had any time at all to play any video games this week?
Actually have. So Elder Scrolls Online was on a Christmas sale. It was like $23 for the expansion and base game, and it's buy once and then you play it forever. And I thought, $23 Australian. So I bought it and I played it for about 30 minutes because I work crazy hours on BCO and PTO.
By your own choice, Brad doesn't slave drive you into it, right?
Yeah. Oh no. Brad doesn't slave drive me into it. Brad's so good about it. He told me to take a few days extra off work. But I just can't do it. So, I mean, like, I picked up this game and I thought, what could go wrong? It's a buy once, play forever kind of thing. And I bought it and I was actually amazed by how much building is actually in the game, like developing your character. Not storyline wise, even though it had a great story, but more or less, I want my character to be an assassin that uses two-handed sword. Like, that amazes me.
So you were an assassin with essentially a great sword, right?
Yeah. So, but I didn't do that because I'm not that type of guy. But like, you can build your own character based off what you want to do. And there's lots of depth to the game, like amazing amount of depth. Like, I picked it up and I tried studying it as much as I could, and I watched about, like, while I was working, I watched about 7 hours of Elder Scrolls tutorials, and I still knew nothing.
Oh my god.
And I still knew nothing. It was just insanity.
Is this the first time you've ever played an RPG game, my friend?
No, I played Ragnarok which was the same sort of concept where you build your characters, and I actually played that at an elite level.
Wait, are you talking about Ragnarok Online?
Yeah.
Like the old Korean MMO?
Qualifiers. Yeah. I competed in qualifiers in Worlds a long time ago. And so there's something about building your character that really pleases me. And, I also picked up a board game, Warhammer. And so I've been trying to build the models out of that, but I've built 3 in my time.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you have left yourself into a rabbit hole, sir. Not only are you trying to get into an MMO, you're trying to get into freaking Warhammer? Warhammer is gonna, like, eat your life, like, if you let it.
It's just supposed to be like a hobby kind of thing, like building models and painting them, rather than actually getting into it. So, have you been playing any games, Marco?
Yeah, I've been recently playing something that might be a little bit in your wheelhouse, Cameron. For the CCG lover that you are, I've been playing a game called Cross Maga, which is a which is a game from the people who made Doofus/Wakfu. Have you ever played any of those games?
Oh, actually, funny that you mention it. I actually saw that game on my phone. I was looking for CCGs on iTunes, on my iPhone, and I saw Cross Maga. And so now I know what game you're talking about. Yeah, explain to me how, like, because I only played it for about 10 seconds.
Wait, what? Why only 10 seconds?
I just don't have time.
Hash
But
brown
like,
alive.
it's similar to like Duelist in the sense that you're on a board, right?
Yeah,
And
it's kind of like that, I guess. I mean, like it. You ever played like Clash Royale?
no, I haven't. I've seen a lot of videos though.
Okay, so it's kind of like Clash Royale more than Duelist. So like it looks like Duelist because it has the chessboard, right? Where you can summon units and they do stuff. But you don't actually control any of the units' movement. The units just walk forward a certain number of steps, and if they meet an enemy in the lane, they attack each other and they trade damage. That's it. You don't get to control where they go. You just get to control which lane they go into. And then what they do after that is completely automated. You know, so during your turn, all you ever do is summon units and play cards. That's it. You don't actually tactically command people.
I do love the CCG though. You're right.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty interesting. Mostly because, so if you've played Wakfu or Doofus, there's an entire like lore about the world, blah blah blah, and how every single one of the classes in the game of Wakfu, which was a like it's like Final Fantasy Tactics, the MMO, right?
Yeah.
So every class there is actually a representative of a god, right? So like, there's like Sadida or Ekaflip or things like that, and they're all representative of a god. In Crossmaga, you are playing as those gods who are playing cards, which are their servants or their followers or their worshippers or stuff like that. And Wakfu is notorious for having that one class that's entirely random chance based, called the Ekaflip faction, because I think Ekaflip's like the god of chance or something. So it's really interesting because in this game they decided to just like not really care about traditional balance, because they just decided to put a ton, and I mean a ton, of random effects in. In fact, they have an entire faction dedicated solely to just random effects. Basically, if whoa, is the god Ekaflip mad at me for like making fun of him?
Yeah, he is. He doesn't like that you're talking about him in such vain.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm sorry, but really, like, say around 80% of the cards involve either flipping a coin or throwing a dice. So it's like when you
really?
Yeah, like play this card, flip a coin. If it's heads, draw 2 cards. If it's tails, draw 1 card.
Oh, that's not too bad. I mean, like, game needs randomizations, like especially CCGs. Just a little touch. I mean, that's not too bad at all.
Cameron, you haven't even seen it yet. Like, there's a card that's a 1/5 for 4, and then when you summon it, you roll a dice. It gains attack equal to the number on the dice. So it's either a 2/5 for 4, which is bad because like 4/5 for 4 is the usual, or it's either that or a 7/5 for 4. So it's like, you know, if you're lucky, you're like the best faction in the game, and if you're not lucky, you suck.
But is it like that controlled CCG, like in PTO, how we've got Eric, who's just completely RNG related?
Yeah, but like, there's nothing you or the opponent can do to mitigate the dice roll, right? Like I guess I could summon him in a lane wherein somebody will have at least 2 health, right? So if the opponent has 2 health, no matter what the dice roll is, I'll kill the opponent. But even then, right? Like, you know, sometimes I just believe in the heart of the dice, coins, cards, and then just roll craps to win. So yeah, that's RNG. That's RNG related. Speaking of which, are you okay with us ending this segment? Because I really want to get into this PTO BCO talk.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's what we've been playing. If you guys want to recommend new games for me, Cameron, Brad, who's not here, please tell us in the comment section down below, and we will get to those as soon as we can. Again, please give us games that are easy to access. Don't ask us to play like Nottingham Knights on the Commodore 64 or whatever like that. Impossible. Okay, so let's move on to our next segment, which is Cameron talks about development. Where Cameron, just in case you guys didn't know, if you're a first-time listener, Cameron here is actually the lead programmer and client developer for Pixel Tactics Online and BattleCon Online. So we will get into strategy talk a little bit. Actually, by a little bit, I mean like in 1 to 3, go. Hey Cameron, can you tell us about the design philosophy around Pixel Tactics Online, since that seems to be your pet baby project?
Yeah, PTO is my baby project, because I started it from scratch and built it up way bigger than I would imagine. So I came to Brad and I wanted to do a trading card, like a trading card / collectible card game version of it, and structured. Brad said, yeah, there will be a structured mode, and I said, how about we do it this way? And things change quite rapidly when you start realizing flaws in games. Like in Pixel Tactics, it's very easy to balance things because you've both got the same deck. But in PTO, it's a mirror match. So in PTO, it's completely different. So I remember in the beginning stages, there was a card called the Scientist, or Luke's hero side, and he would just completely... You could draw your whole deck without even ever drawing. Like, he would just constantly keep giving you actions. So we ended up nerfing the card copies from 3 copies, which you can imagine why, down to 2 copies. Because, I mean, you think about it this way. In card deck building games, there's a threshold you need. So in, say, Pokemon, you've got 4 copies in a 60-card deck, which equates to about, I think it's like 12 points, like 12 different cards you can have in your deck.
Yeah, around 12.
Copies.
Yeah, around...
Yeah, something like that, 13 or something.
Or 16, I think. 16?
Yeah, it's something like that. But so the magic number is 15. So when you have a card game that's constructed, you try to get around that 15 number, because if you go higher than that, it's just too inconsistent. And if you go lower, it's just not fun. Like, you can play as many copies of the card as you want. Like, people were just using Summoner's ability, which was Scry, which made you look at the top 3 cards of your deck.
You mean
6
8
cards of your deck.
Yeah, 6, sorry.
No.
6.
6, yeah. 6. And then they would just choose Scientists from there, get 2... it was originally 3 actions too. And so they'd get 3 actions, and then they'd just keep going through their deck. And you draw about 20 cards by the time, and played about 12 orders, or up to 20 orders nearly. And so we had to do things to combat this. And so we changed it down to 2 copies, which gave it the perfect 15 card percentage.
Yep.
And so 2 copies in a 30 card deck. And then we had the problem that orders are just broken. Absurdly broken.
That was my fault.
I talked... Yeah, well, actually, Marco was one of the earliest playtesters. You were. And
yeah.
I remember you just going, oh, yeah, why play a unit? What's the point? It's just going to die before it even gets to attack. And Brad kind of said, he doesn't believe that. And so I played him with one of the meta decks, or what we call the meta deck for the time. And he's just like, this is just broken. So we had to change it. It was just absurdly broken. So we had to change it to a special ruling called orbs. And when we changed to this orb system, suddenly things just started piecing together. And there's a lot of design problems with making constructed games. And I think Brad is one of the best in the world at nerfing or balancing stuff. Like, if he spends the time, he's just insanely good. We had this card where, what was it, Unsummoned, Marco? Was it Unsummoned that was just broken and it would just make OTKs, 1-hit KO decks?
Yeah, so the reason Unsummoned was broken wasn't necessarily because it was a broken effect. Like, Unsummoned is a really, really big tempo play, right? But it generates no value. You spend an orb, you spend an action, you spend a card to put a card back into your opponent's hand. So what, right? They can just play it again. But something about the balance of PTO makes it really weird because, number one, if you bounce the Vanguard unit, they can't just put the Vanguard unit back into the Vanguard. They have to wait until it becomes Vanguard Wave again. What other things there? something about the Switch. So the Switch is actually the main problem in this entire game. So at the end of every 3 turns, the first player marker swaps. That means second player gets to essentially go 2 turns in a row. The last turn as second player, and then the first turn as first player the next round. This means that that player gets to take essentially 6 actions straight without your opponent getting to do anything. And that's where Unsummon gets really broken, right? Because for 1 action and just 1 card, I can bounce your Vanguard Defender in front of your leader, or what we choose to call like the Paragon or the Defender, right? So the unit in front of the leader gets bounced, and then I have free reign on you the next turn. What made Unsummon really broken compared to other effects like Assassinate or whatever was that Unsummon didn't have any conditions, and it only cost 1 orb. Assassinate cost 2 orbs, which ate up more than half of your entire orb supply just to cast. But if you're on the Switch, if you already have 3 orbs at the end at the rear wave as second player, you cast that orb, and first player, you gain another orb, so you technically spent 0 orbs to do that effect, right? Because you just gained 1 the next turn, anyway. So that's why it was so broken.
Yeah, and I mean, and me and Marco, because Marco does the balancing with me, and we just try things half the time, and if they work, they work. If they don't, we just revert back. It's a good method because then we can see what actually does work, what actually doesn't work, and because it's a digital time space, we can easily change these and re-roll back and do wonderful things. But me and Marco were thinking of trying to, balance this card because it was just setting up so many problems for us. And Brad's like, just don't make it an unsummon and intercept heroes. And suddenly everything just went perfectly. And we're just like, oh yeah, like, why can't we do that? And yeah, so balancing's hard in that aspect. UI-wise, there's lots of different things that were a problem. For example, Brad said, like when I originally designed it, because I'm a dragger. So I drag here, right? And Brad went to play it, and he's like, oh, my action's doing nothing. I'm like, what do you mean your action's doing nothing? He's like, I'm clicking it, but it's doing nothing. And I'm just like, well, then what do we do? And so we went to the community, as we do. We go to the community, and we asked them, what do you do when you're doing stuff? Like, this game is all about the community, same as BCO and PTO. And they said, I drag to here, I click to here, and so I got the rough idea of what we needed to do. And so I simply just built everyone's idea into the game. So then every single person can be happy. And then it just made it so much nicer. Like UI-wise, clicking, and sometimes you just want to click. Maybe you're a bit angry and you'll just drag over like, oh god. And so like there's a lot of small stuff that a lot of people don't know about game development, and it's very tricky to get it right, and it's very hard to consistently get it right. And that's the one thing that makes a game developer better than a programmer. Programmers are better in terms of other things, but game developers are very good for how things work. So, I mean, it's hard to explain. I'm a game developer, but I can program as well. And it's really hard to find their middle grounds in all game development. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's one of those, you've got to please everyone kind of thing. And I heard a lot of things about what you should do and whether you should make everyone love it, like 3 people love it and 2 people hate it, or 5 people in the middle. And everyone said that you're better off making people love it and making someone more angry than because then you've got that bigger fan base behind it.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Like, you want more people to love it than to have everybody just eh.
Yeah, exactly. And it builds a better community around it, like the BattleCon community.
Oh, that's definitely true.
They either love it or they just don't like it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I know. Like, as the guy who manages like a lot of the Facebook pages and stuff, whenever I post BattleCon content, people are like, you guys are either hit or miss with me. It's like, sometimes I just love most of your games. I just can't love BattleCon. And I'm like, okay, that's completely fine. It's not for everyone, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's it. And that's what being a game dev is all about. Like, you've got to please to different niches in the market too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
BattleCon is very skill intensive when you get into mid to high tiers of experience. It requires a lot of thought, a lot of planning, and as some people that's a bit daunting. But it's like anything. You start the game with not much knowledge, and soon you'll be gaining this knowledge. Oh well, I'm not going to play this time because it loses to that anyway.
Yeah, it's all just about experience, right?
Yeah, everything's about experience. You know? So,
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yes.
Yeah. No, I thought you were going to say something.
No, you first. You first. As the guest.
So like, everything's about experience, but like, you've got to leave open doorways for people to learn themselves as well. You can't just say slap all that experience on the table and then go, there you go. Now you're accomplished.
I guess that makes sense, right? Like, because how do I explain this? Like this oftentimes comes up whenever people ask, like, oh, how do you get into drawing, or how do you get into art? How do I become a good artist, right? I feel like a lot of people tend to give the advice of, just practice, and that's not wrong advice, right? Like, it's really important for anybody in any trade or any craft to practice. The big problem comes from the fact that, saying practice isn't gonna be enough most of the time, because people can practice wrong. That's what people fail to understand. It's like, you can actually practice wrong. If you do the wrong thing over and over again for 100 years, you're not gonna get any better at drawing. You're just gonna get really, really good at doing something really, really wrong, right? So
yeah,
I guess that's what you're trying to say, right? Like, we can't just make people play. We need to give them like breadcrumbs to tell them what's good, what's not, how you should be training.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
In BattleCon, guess what I did today, Marco? I don't know when this is going out, but I think it's sometime soon.
I mean,
but guess what I did today?
Yeah, sure, go.
Replay system.
You made a replay system.
Just before we started our call around our virtual bushfire. Not bushfire.
Bushfire. Whoa. Campfire. House. Living room fire. I mean, like, bushfire. Really? One. This just goes to show that you actually live in Australia, right? Like, if bushfire is the first thing that enters your mind.
But yeah, I implemented a replay system, and there's some things that make you wonder when you watch a replay. There are some things that you can learn real well about play styles, and even I watched back a game I played, and you know what I said? BattleCon Online needs this, and that was passing. You know how when you pass in BattleCon Online, it just has the text passed above their head?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need something more visual. Pass, come up on the screen. And it's small things like this that make a game so intensive and just immersive. Like someone said that voice acting, they won't play a character because it doesn't have voice acting.
Yeah. I get what you mean. It's like, a lot of aspects of game design isn't actually brought down into the mechanics. Like, as much as a mechanic guy I am called the mechanic critic for a reason. There's small things about games that, like, make or break them, right? Like, even as simple as, like, if I press the escape button in a game and it doesn't bring up a menu, I feel bad about it, right? Like, if I press escape in BattleCon Online, for a long time, it just closed the game rather than bring up a menu, right? And I felt horrible, like, every time it happened. I was expecting, it's like, oh, menu, and then it just closes the game.
Yeah, and so that's one thing we do too. Actually, BattleCon Online's development is geared way towards the community. Every update, we send out a poll, or not every update, but most updates, we send out a poll and say, what would you like next? And they say, and this one was the replay system.
Yeah.
And a lot of people feel very good when they get one of their features that they requested in a game. Like, for me to say that, like, I can do a game, but for someone to come and say, oh, that was done perfectly. For example, someone told me on BCO Discord the other day, he said, I'm not going to be playing Battlecon Online. I'm just in the Discord to, chill. And I asked him, why aren't you playing Battlecon Online? And he said, too many animations. I'm like, have you watched one of Marco's videos? And he watched one of your, what's your Making Connections videos?
Okay.
And he's like, this is really well done. And I'm like, so now I'm like, yeah, like, and he thought it was going to be something completely different, and he wanted something more true to the Sheets design, and we gave him what he wanted, and he's like, oh, I'm going to be playing Battlecon Online right now, and he jumped online and just came and joined us.
Oh, that's always so great.
There's a lot of things that people expect from a game, and then they can be different, and I want to please everyone. I know that's very hard to ask, but I do want to please everyone in my games.
I mean, says the guy who basically never eats just so that he can push out updates every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be continuing that one day soon after Battlecon. Oh, PTO, I can't wait.
Oh my goodness. My gosh. I mean, like, I love BattleCon Online. I mean, like, I make videos about it almost every week, right? Like, it's my love, but I gotta admit, PTO is really fun too. Like, Cameron and I always have a blast just coming up with stupid decks that make no sense, and then it's like, I think that's the draw of CCGs to me. I mean, I guess we'll close this out talking about our love for CCGs. Cameron and I have never met face to face, much like me and most of the other Level 99 staff, I guess. But we always bond over the fact that we love CCGs. Cameron's an avid Pokemon TCG player, right? Like, I think you've won a tournament or two.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I have a few.
Oh my gosh, quite a few. Like, did you represent like at nationals or regionals or something?
Regionals, yeah, I went to regionals and I did really well. I think my latest one I came second in. So, but now I'm actually judging regionals. I kept winning, and I talked to one of the judges, and then I started working for Pokemon TCG. I just loved it that much, and I just had to. How do
you ever find time to, like, father of four, designer and developer for BCO PTO and Pokemon judge? Like, how do you have the time to do anything else?
No, to be honest, I left Pokemon. I'm still in the judging quarters, and I still talk to judges about stuff, but I don't go to events and judge anymore. I've just got no time. I work on BCO and PTO way too much. Just the fan base is amazing, and it's not even a job for me. It's just me playing with a few friends and having a good time, and I just love it so much that I just do it. I don't get much time off mainly because I don't request it. Brad's always telling me to take more time off, but I just can't seem to find the time to take time off.
You just don't wanna. No.
No. It's my life. Working for this company is literally my life, and I love it.
Oh my god,
it's absolutely everything great.
And we love you too, Cameron. That's not just from Marco as a Level 99 person. That's Marco as a community member. Cameron's always in the chats, always free to talk to. Like, you tag him in memes, he'll respond. He'll take a little bit of time off, just to respond to your memes. In fact, he'll make memes himself, so it's always pretty fun.
Actually, funny fact, I wake up an hour before I tell everyone I've woken up because I read every single comment that's been posted in all the channels.
Are you serious?
And so so I wake up an hour early, and an hour later I'll say, morning guys, once I've read every single comment.
Wow.
In all the channels. So
okay, that's insane. I mean, like, technically it's my job to do the same, right? But, like, you don't have to do that, but you do.
No. I do it because mainly for big head, as in someone goes, oh, that was a great game last night, and I just think, because I made it. You know what I mean? like it's an ego boost. So,
ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, like, seeing people enjoy the games you make is always really fun, I mean, like, it's the same thing for me, I stalk Facebook and wait for people to respond to all of the Facebook things I post. I mean, like, I guess it's just human nature at this point.
I think you do a good job on PTO balancing, though.
Oh, thanks. Like, if only that mattered. If only that mattered right now, because...
Yeah.
Big Daddy BCO. Big Daddy BCO is currently up. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to figure out some more extra decks, especially since we're bringing in even more cards and all that stuff. Oh my gosh. It's why I love CCGs so much. Like, I just love making stupid decks. I'm a Johnny. So it's in my lifeblood to make stupid decks. So that's pretty much Cameron talks about development. He tells us he loves us. We love him too. You know what? Everybody give Cameron a teach read Marco in the comment section down below because he needs it. You need it, right?
Yeah, I need to learn how to read, guys. I need to learn how to read. And Marco's the only one that can teach read.
Teach read, Marco. And if you guys want us to talk about anything about development, please tell us in the comment section down below. It will be easy to like get Brad or Cameron back on the show. In fact, if you want anything from Brad or Cameron or me, it's easy because Cameron's on the same time as I am. He can fill up Brad's spot whenever Brad's Christmasing away in the Bahamas. I don't think he's actually in the Bahamas. I don't think so. I think he's back in his hometown.
I don't think he is.
Oh, I hope he's not. That's one expensive vacation for Christmas. Why go to the Bahamas for Christmas, though? That makes no sense. Let's go to the beach for Christmas, everyone.
His wedding anniversary is around this time, though. So
oh, really? Did they? Oh, who knows? Maybe they did go to the Bahamas. Okay.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay. That pretty much does it for this segment. Let's move on to the next segment, our 99 questions. Tell me, Cameron, are you ready to answer some hot-baked questions straight from the mouth of our listeners, which were written to the Google form?
As long as they're not, what teddy bear did you own when you were a kid? Because that made me sad telling that story.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
My poor teddy bear. Fried onion teddy bear.
Okay, we can actually talk about some stuff you might actually know the answers to. How about that?
Okay, good. Let's do that.
Will we ever see more bases in... Oh, wait, no. That's not it. Sorry.
What?
Redo.
What?
Redo. When will we add new fighters to BCO? And which ones will you add?
Oh, okay. So I don't want to spoil stuff, but I'll tell you in a simple answer. Magdalena. Next. And then probably Caesar. Because the reason why that is because we develop fighters on a basis. So when we finish Magdalena, that means that Caesar only needs one more feature to implement Caesar, and then the next person after that will only need one more feature, and then eventually we'll have every feature implemented, and then we've got them all, and we can add as many characters as we want.
And that's why Seth is going to be last.
That's exactly why Seth's going to be last, because he just defies rules.
I mean, that's literally his entire kit.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. See, everybody, we can get this done without Brad. Who needs Brad? Who needs Brad?
Magdalena and Caesar. They're the next ones.
It's Cesar.
Caesar? Really?
Yeah, there's an accent on the E, so it's not Caesar, it's Cesar.
Okay, well, I don't talk English anyway.
Well, to be fair, I think that's like the Spanish pronunciation, so...
Oh, really? Oh, God. Yeah. I'm so bad.
Well,
next question?
You only know one language. Okay, here's one that you might be able to answer. I didn't hear anything about in-game chat or emojis on the to-do list for BCO in the podcast, episode 48. Is there a plan for in-game chat or emojis, and when can we expect it?
Emojis? Oh, you mean emoticons. Like, so you can say well played. Is that what they mean?
Probably.
Well, I revealed this to someone the other day, but okay, Brad's probably going to kill me, but this is for you folks. So Brad's been getting recordings of all the emojis in game for all the characters, and I listened to Seven's the other day, and hers are amazing. Her well played is so good. And so, yeah, we're definitely planning them. And that's actually why we moved the space away from clicking on your opponent's card, because we're going to have emojis there. In-game chat. We've got in-game chat now, don't we? Oh, well, that's friends list, I guess.
I mean,
But,
I think
you
they're
can
asking,
chat
like,
in-game,
can you, like, in-game chat with your opponent who's not your friend?
Oh, no. The reason simply for that is that if you're playing a stall game, people will probably not like you as much. And that's what emojis are for, you know? If you're angry, send them an emoji instead of sending them a text saying, "Oh, why'd you choose this stupid person? Because that just counters me." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's why we have friend chat only. Actually, Brad wanted in chat, and then I explained to him the pros and cons, and the cons outweighed the pros in that. So I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. Did you happen to mention that many people on the internet are rude?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, there's a lot of people, especially newer players, who get very angry very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, like,
without reason.
Just imagine playing the game and then you queue up as, like, I don't know, anybody against Cadenza. It's like, ooh, Cadenza, broken character. And I mean, like...
Yeah. And then you just get teased. It's just like League of Legends having their mics open for a while, and then you just get called like a noob and stuff, and it's good for no one.
Yeah, which is why emojis or emotes are the way we're designed to go. Are you ready for the last question?
Yep. Sure. Let's give me the last question.
What question should I ask instead of sup?
Who is this? Wait. I know who this is. This is Ariel, wasn't it, that asked this question?
Oh my gosh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, man. I'm like, maybe Ariel asked sup, but who asked this new one? I don't know.
Okay. So, what should he ask us? Oh, God, that's a brain boggler.
How about how we're doing? You know what? Everybody keeps asking us all about this development stuff. Like, has anybody even cared about our feelings?
Yeah. Like, why don't we get asked, how are you feeling today?
Yeah.
That's better than sup.
Yeah, it's always about the games. Can it ever be about us?
Yeah. Why can't it be?
Yeah, I don't know.
Brad's not here, so we can make it about us.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Cameron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. I finished replay system, and it made me feel good watching my match again. How about you? How are you feeling today, Marco?
I feel like complete garbage because I am sick and have the flu. It's wonderful. It's a very wonderful thing. Welcome to our new segment on this podcast, Marco and Cameron Talk Chill, where Cameron and I just have a pleasant time together. And this doesn't really accomplish anything or contribute to the content of this podcast, but you can listen to me and Cameron shoot the breeze, become one with the world. Marco's
smooth voice. It warms my ears.
It won't. Okay, can we stop? That's getting weird. Come on, warms your ears?
Yeah,
it warms your ears.
Really good radio voice. You got a radio voice. It's like nice and deep, and it's nice in your earballs.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Oh my gosh. Okay, so that pretty much does it for our 99 question segment, and that is the first and last time we will ever do Marco and Cameron just chill, because nobody will want to hear that again. If Brad hears this, he'll kill us.
And then we'll probably get 1,000 views because Brad kills us on air.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. He'll show up and teleport behind me and like, nothing personal, kid, and then he slits kills me. I mean, like,
family friendly. Oh God,
family friendly. It's completely family friendly. To be fair, we're like PG-13, right? So it's like. And we can be a slightly edgy, you know, so long as when he does kill me, it's not on screen and there's no blood. Since this is an
makes sense to me,
audio medium, there can never be blood on the screen.
I feel like this podcast's been about us just talking about random stuff and a bit of game debt. development in there. And
Welcome to the Level Cap Podcast. Cameron's figured it out. Welcome. You have unveiled the mask. Pay no attention to the small man behind the curtain because you have just figured out the secret wizardry of this podcast. Cameron, Brad, and I just kind of talk about stuff and talk about development in between.
Oh, that's good. The last episode was really good.
Okay, can we not praise the podcast within the podcast? I mean, like that's kind of self-praising, Cameron.
Yeah, but I'm not normally in the podcast, so I can praise the podcast.
Okay, that's fair, but that's kind of like coding something into your game that goes like, every time somebody wins, it's like, good job, Cameron. it's just I mean, like, okay.
Actually, someone mentioned that in PTO. They said, how'd you get all the holographic cards? I sent them a screenshot of a script I've got in the game, and it says, give all holo cards to Seki. It literally gives me all the holo cards.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're the developer, you can do whatever the heck you want, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so sadly, Cameron, this brings an end to our magical, mystical journey together. Are you sad?
I am very sad. I'm very sad now. But it's been great to be here once again, and I hope you all enjoy.
Enjoy what?
Enjoy the day.
Oh, okay. Whoa, no need to be mad, okay? Just chill.
Yeah.
Oh
We're not doing chill again.
No, we're not going to do chill again. Brad never wants to hear that again. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to this episode of Level Cap Podcast. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the comment section down below. As usual, it has been me, your host, Marco De Santos, also known as Mechanic Rick, and with me is my special guest co-host, developer of PTO, developer of BCO, Pokemon Tournament Judge, father of 4, random Australian man, Cameron.
Thanks, guys, for having me once more. It's a pleasure to come onto the show, always. Always.
And it's a pleasure to have you here. As usual, we want all of you to know that during this festive season, we appreciate that you're part of the Level 99 Games family. And without a doubt, don't forget your special... Happy holidays?
Happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays.
Say happy holidays.
Okay, gosh. Happy holidays. And don't forget your 4 special action. Thank you, World of Indians. Thank you, and good night. Happy gaming. Cameron, listen to me. It's not yet done. This is a new special segment. This is a new special segment that nobody's going to know about unless they're a true dedicated fan, okay?
Okay.
This new special segment comes at the end of every Level Cap podcast from now on, and it's only reserved for people who want to stay until the very end, past all of the end screen music. Cameron, quick, divulge a little special tidbit for our special dedicated listeners.
PTO is going to be doing really well soon. BCO is going crazy. Replay system tutorials, shop, everything's coming. So stay tuned. Join the BCO, guys. Come chat with me. I'm always happy to chat. So just come and say hello, Seki, and then we'll know from there on. I see. You know what? I'll give a little bit of spoiler and all that stuff too. The next episode of Making Connections will be about 7. So that'll be great. Oh, really?
I'll try to play her. Hopefully she's not bugged when I get there.
She should be fixed as of 2 days ago. They'll doing internal testing on dev server. So she should be fixed, but I'd like 99% certain she's fixed. She's been going crazy. Everyone loves 7.
Yeah, I mean, like,
everyone loves 7.
She's a pretty cool character, dude.
Oh yeah, like just her kit excites people.
Oh my gosh. All right, so thank you again for watching, and thank you for listening to this special secret segment. Again, happy gaming.